Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of The Mandalorian, Season 3, Episode 2, Chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you feel lucky or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below. YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give me enough time to pause, do whatever you need to do. All right. So instead of the elephant in the room, we're going to talk about the mythosaur in the mine, is what we're going to do. Yeah, I know I was working on that all day. I was, workshopping that one. It didn't come out all that well. But anyway, yes, we do end up going to Mandalore. I was kind of surprised that we were going to Mandalore so quick. I thought we were going to have at least a couple of side missions trying to get IG-11's identity chip and all that stuff, but no, we jump straight to it. Din Djarin goes over to Tatooine, talking to Pelimoto once again, which I'm honestly kind of tired of the character, and looking for the IG-11 identity chip. And of course, the Jawas can't find it; they don't have it, and if they don't have it, no one's got it. Because as she put it, she calls him Grandpa because that's how old the IG-11 memory chip is. No one has one of those damn things. So, yeah, she ends up talking him into taking R5 with her, R5D4 or R5 with him. Um, and really all he needs something that's just going to say if the atmosphere is breathable or not. So I don't know why he needs a droid with him at all. Yes, I know IG-11 has more than just, droid capabilities. He's also a fully functional homicidal maniac. So that would have been more helpful. R5, on the other hand, is just really a glorified, uh, what we call in the safety industry, a Jerome sniffer, which just kind of sniffs out for toxins and whatnot. It's basically an oxygen sensor, is really what it is. And so, of course, they land on Mandalore. R5 finds out that, yes, it is breathable. So Grogu and Din Djarin end up going down into the mines, and well, first, of course, they fight off some Morlocks. I mean, excuse me, Alamites is what they're called. They look a lot like Morlocks from the H.G. Wells, time machine movies. All the different movies that have had Morlocks, and Din Djarin ends up getting captured by some spider or crab like mechanical beast, if you will. And uh, he tells Grogu to go and grab, bo-katan to get his ass out of there. And so, yeah, Grogu makes his ass back up, to the ship, gets over to, over to the Kavala. There we go. I had to think about what her home planet was that she's standing on, the one of the moons of Mandalore. And she stopped drinking Jack Daniels at this point. She still is sitting in the easy chair, the lazy boy throne that she's been in. But she stopped drinking the Jack Daniels long enough to notice that Din Djarin's missing. So she ends up taking her ship and going to Mandalore, and she really fights the shit out. I mean, the Alamites she takes care of like there's no problem whatsoever. And then she ends up, fighting that biomechanical crab monster thing, spider monster thing, whatever it is, and takes the dark saber and uses it like it was like that's what she was born for, and just takes that whole thing down. That thing was creepy too, because once it came off the body, the little head thing came off, and then it could, yeah. So, Penn says the crab type robot reminded me of something from Dark Crystal. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It also kind of reminded me from some different video games, things like that. It's all kind of cobbled together. But she ends up saving Din Djarin, and then you know, she's sitting there and makes some pog soup for him, and she's like, "You never had pog soup? That's a Mandalore. Every kid's raised on pog soup, kind of thing. A Mandalorian is." And she's just kind of needling him about how much of a Mandalorian he isn't, while he is still just kind of going on and on about the creed and how he needs to get to the living waters. And she's like, "All right, if you need to get to the living waters, I'll show you where they are." She goes, "I was there as a kid. I went through the whole ritual. There's nothing special about them." And so she takes him down into the civic center underneath to the old Beskar mines. And she's relating some of this, that the Beskar mines are supposedly where the mythosaur, this mythical creature, is where they lived. And we also had a little bit of a recap in the very beginning of this whole episode about the armorer talking about prophecy and about the dark saber would, when the mythosaur rise, it would be a new age, a new dawn, for Mandalore and Mandalorians. So, you have that kind of going for you as well. So they get down to the waters, and you know, he's looking at it with awe, with reverence, because of course he needs to bathe in it in order to get his not become an apostate anymore. And she goes, wait a minute. Let me read off the plaque here first so you get the full experience." Completely rubbing this shit in, that she doesn't believe in this at all. And she reads it to him, and then he goes into the water reciting the creed and all this stuff. And as he gets about waist deep, he gets sucked under, and she's like, "Oh fuck!" And Bo-Katan dives in, and he's way down there. Something has drugged him down, deep, deep down. And she gets him. She's bringing him back. She's using her jetpacks underwater, and as she's making her way up, her light hits this gigantic eye. And I mean, they're just kind of dwarfed these, and we see a telltale horn of a mythosaur just in the water. And she kind of, well, it even says so in the if you have the subtitles on, it says gasps. Bo-Katan gasps. And she does that, and then she makes her way up to the top and jets out of the water. And that's kind of where we leave off on this episode, where the mythosaur is real and is down there. And where do we go from here? um well, my bet is this might plant the seed of Bo-Katan becoming um a believer, one, and also she might become a zealot as well. I mean, I can see this happening. She was the one, as she was talking to Grogu about, well, actually, she was talking to Din Djarin too about this, about how the Mandalorians have been fighting each other when they really should have been joining together and fighting the Empire. She was actually instrumental in the Mandalorians fighting each other, because she opposed her sister's rule. She didn't believe in her sister, who was a pacifist, in her ways, and was actually part of the Night Watch before it became the Death Watch. So Bo-Katan is really she's the instrumental destruction of Mandalore, if you really want to get down to it. She started with all of that. She broke away from the Night Watch when they became the Death Watch. Um, and then, of course, when she was given the dark saber, not earned it, but given it, then she brought about further ruin to Mandalore, because people didn't see her as a true leader. And yeah, and then of course the Empire, fucked up Mandalore pretty good with those fusion bombs. So yeah, she's feeling kind of shitty at the moment and down on herself. And I can see this having this religion, if you will, because this is what Mandalore religion is the mythosaur and all of this creed stuff that Din Djarin already believes in. It's really the Mandalorian religion, and she doesn't believe it. Now she's leaning towards that, and like I said, I can see her becoming a zealot at this point, and going down this other road where she could become a villain. Um, it would be interesting. I could see that as well. Are they going to do that? I don't know. It's a 50-50 chance on that one. It could be fairly interesting. And remember, this is now 7 years after the Battle of Yavin. No, excuse me, after Return of the Jedi. So which is I can't remember how many years after the Battle of Yavin, because that's how they name it in Star Wars. Lore is the Battle of Yavin is which of course is the New Hope, and then Episode 4, and then Episode 6. Return of the Jedi was supposed to be what, like 5 years after that. So I think we're now at 12 years after the Battle of Yavin. Because if you didn't realize, when Grogu was gone, and I didn't realize this either. I actually read this someplace else, and it was actually Filoni who talked about this. Is Grogu was with Luke for about 2 years. So yeah, there's a little bit of time lapse in between there. So yeah, Grogu was with Luke for about 2 years training, while Din Djarin was out doing his bounty hunter thing and all of that. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. So we are at the 12 years after the Battle of Yavin, which is 7 years after Return of the Jedi, which is how many years before the Force Awakens. So yeah, so you know, we're all in between all of this weird shit, this weird timeline here. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. And I like what Filoni had said. I'd read this interview with him fairly recently. I think it was a couple of days ago, and he's talking about how there is all this space in between the movies that they can work with, and there's all these different people in these universes that they can work with, that not you don't necessarily have to have them cross over. You don't have like, where was Grogu, they were asking during the latest trilogy, the J.J. Abrams verse trilogy, and uh Filoni's like, who knows? Maybe he was off someplace else doing something else. Maybe he was dead. We don't know. That's a story to kind of that we'll come to at some point. Maybe, who knows? But so the thing about this episode is it was very pulpy, like very like the old serials, like what George Lucas had basically, what he initially based Star Wars on was these the old Saturday serials that were done in movie theaters in the 40s and the 50s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, somewhere around there. And that's what the feeling was of this. This was actually a great episode. This was a lot of fun. And yes, we had some retread of a scene where Din Djarin is bringing Grogu down to the mines, and then you have bo-katan bringing Grogu down to the mines, and it's the same scene, if you will, in a way. Just you see how they handle it differently. Whereas, Din Djarin's trying to teach him and fails miserably, and bo-katan's like, "You got this, kid. Fucking come along. Don't be afraid." And yeah, so I'm interested to see where we're gonna go next week with this. Uh, yeah, I can't remember when Filoni comes in to actually direct an episode. I think it's episode 6, and I want to say we have 8 episodes, 9 episodes, something like that of this. That's a good question because I can't remember offhand what it is either. Well, let me actually take a look at ye old IMDb. You can find out where that is. We have episode 3, or season 3, excuse me. Season 3, we have 8 episodes. There we go. 8 episodes where we're at. So we're 2 episodes down, 6 episodes to go. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. I mean, this is good TV. Really, it is. Again, I know there's a lot of people that have jumped off the boat now and they're hating it for whatever reason. I don't know. It seems to be the soup du jour now that people want to do is, they want to be angry at stuff that is fun. I don't know, but I enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, exactly, that's all there is that matters. So, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be another Star Wars thing, The Bad Batch. That's right, The Bad Batch is going to be tomorrow. Friday is going to be the often threatened Is It Worth My Time? This time, The Consultant, which is on Amazon. Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be off. Monday will be The Last of Us, the season finale of The Last of Us. Tuesday may or may not be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I'll see what's out there. And then, of course, Wednesday, we roll back around to The Mandalorian. So there we go. All righty. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everyone. Well, Penn, who joined me today in the chat. There's actually somebody else lurking out there. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. Yasi Sufio, it's there you are. He says, that'd be great if they turn Bo into a villainess, but don't forget Disney has its heavy shadow cast on Star Wars, and it might end up Bo and Din getting married. I doubt that. I doubt that highly. Yeah, I doubt there's just not that chemistry between bo-katan and Din Djarin. There really isn't. And yeah, I don't see that happening. But anyway. So yeah, Disney does some really good villains, and having a good female villain and in a Star Wars universe, I could see that, especially her with the dark saber. Um, I don't know. For me, it just seems like kind of a slam dunk. It seems like that's where they're leading it to, but I could be wrong. Who knows? And who knows? Maybe John Favreau's out there going, "Shut the fuck up! I got plans." I don't know. He probably, I know he doesn't know what the fuck I'm doing. So yeah. Yasi says, with Grogu, the ring bearer story going badass and dark is highly unlikely. I don't think so. Yeah, they're not going to get married. With that said, I am going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for Star Wars: The Bad Batch. And actually, let me plug the channel again real quick. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. It's changed out every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages there as well. All right. With that said, now I'm going to let you go. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. Doesn't worry about the boosters. And also, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, because otherwise, you may end up getting sucked into the living waters by a mythical creature, a mythosaur who may or may not have dragged you down. I don't know. It's all kind of weird and mythical to us. So thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Take care and stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. Have a good night.